It started as a simple weekend ritual. Every Saturday morning, I'd pack up my fishing gear, grab a thermos of coffee, and head to the small lake just behind our neighborhood. The peace and quiet were the perfect escape. But that all changed when I received a letter from the HOA. Karen, the HOA president, had written to inform me that I was in violation of the community rules by fishing in the lake. Apparently, my harmless weekend hobby was now considered an unauthorized recreational activity in the eyes of the HOA. They included a fine and a warning that if I didn't stop, they'd escalate the penalties. I was livid. How could fishing in a neighborhood lake be a violation? I'd done it every Saturday for years without a word from anyone. But now, Karen and the HOA had decided it was an issue. The letter wasn't just about fishing, it was about control. They had found yet another way to impose their rules. I wasn't going to take this lying down. Instead of just paying the fine and walking away, I decided to fight back, and not just in a way Karen would expect. I made a decision. I started contacting real estate agents to learn more about buying the lake. After several weeks of phone calls, paperwork, and financial wrangling, I finally closed the deal. The lake was mine. But I didn't stop there. Once I owned the lake, I knew what had to be done. I sent out a letter to the HOA board and all the residents of the neighborhood, announcing the change. I told them that, as the new owner of the lake, I was enacting a new rule. Only members of the HOA would be prohibited from fishing on the lake. Karen had gone too far. She'd issued a fine for a peaceful activity, so I decided to take control in the best way possible, making her and the other HOA members the only ones banned from fishing. Everyone else in the neighborhood was still free to enjoy the lake. Karen didn't take kindly to the news. She stormed over to my house the very next day, seething with rage.
"You can't do this,"
she shouted.
"The lake belongs to the whole community. You have no right to make these rules."
I remained calm. I bought the lake, Karen. As the new owner, I have every right to decide how it's used. And after your little fine, I think it's only fair that the HOA board members are the ones banned from fishing here. Her face went red with anger.
"You'll regret this. I'll take you to court. I'll tell the neighbors this is outrageous."
I smiled. Go ahead. You can do whatever you want. But as of now, I'm the one making the rules here. No more fishing for you or any other HOA members. It's my lake. After Karen stormed off, I watched the neighborhood shift. Some people were upset by the new rule, but the majority of them were just relieved that they could use the lake without fear of the HOA fining them for every little thing. The HOA had no power anymore. Karen and her cronies were no longer in charge. Days went by, and the neighbors started using the lake again, their tensions easing as the new rules settled in. But Karen, true to form, didn't let it go. She showed up on my doorstep several times, trying to convince me to reverse the decision. She even tried to rally the neighborhood against me, but the damage had already been done. In the end, Karen's power faded. She no longer controlled the HOA, and she was left powerless as the neighborhood returned to its peaceful state. As for me, I kept fishing, enjoying the lake in peace, knowing I'd won in the most satisfying way possible. I hadn't just stood up for myself, I had reclaimed control.